Good morning everybody, it's Neil from Moments in the Sky and welcome to my hometown of Hull. Today, very exciting, we're testing the new LNER Azuma train. It's Monday the 20th of May 2019 and that means that this train has literally just been in service for 5 days. So join me on the trip to London and let's see what it's all about. Today I'm travelling on the brand new LNER Azuma train from Hull to London King's Cross. I use this service on a weekly basis from Hull to London, so I can say with near certainty that no other reviews of the service, formerly known as the Hull Executive, will be anywhere near as authoritative as mine. In fact, most other reviewers of this service aren't testing it out until later in the month, so always trust a Yorkshireman when talking about Yorkshire things, and accept no substitutes. The 7 AM service to London starts at Hull and is usually brought onto the platform around 6:30, immediately after the earlier Hull train service departs. Today is no exception, and as the train pulls in I get my first glance at this shiny new Azuma. As we're taking a look around our new train, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the train operator we're using today. So London North Eastern Railway was born out of the ashes of the failed and deeply unpopular Virgin Stagecoach franchise, which Stagecoach handed back after losing more than £200 million in just 3 years. Stagecoach and the government to this day dispute who was to blame for the franchise failure, and Martin Griffiths, Stagecoach Chief Executive Officer, took to YouTube to produce an acrimonious and uncomfortable video as a result. I've added the link below to review Martin Griffiths' video. LNER, however, is an arm's-length government rail operator that seems to be getting things back to normal. Previous private operators of the East Coast Main Line included GNER, National Express and most recently the joint venture between Stagecoach and Virgin. In my experience, GNER offered a premium service at a premium price, and I enjoyed travelling with them. The Stagecoach-Virgin alliance, however, was dreadful, with high numbers of cancellations, staff morale at a low and cost-cutting that manifested itself into a really lousy experience. However you cut it though, all three private franchises on this lane failed. Let's hope the next one to take over in 2020 can do a better job. As a regular on this route, I find it always works best when it's operated by the state. But what do you think? If you use this service often, comment below. So on to today's celebratory train trip, which is on the super new train that will eventually replace the popular HST, or for people of my age, the Intercity 125s that, like me, are now nearly 45 years old, as well as replacing the slightly newer, electrically powered Class 91 Intercity 225s, themselves however being 30 years old. Today, as usual, I'm in first class and very impressed with the ambience of the new carriage. Seating is comfortable and there's plenty of room to work, which gives me the opportunity to immediately begin editing this trip report. We depart Hull Station about 50 minutes behind schedule, that's 5-0, but that sadly was due to a man who decided he'd had enough and was hovering over a rail bridge just ahead. Once we get going, I immediately noticed how smooth the ride is, and before long, breakfast is served. On weekdays, there's a good choice of food. Although menus hadn't been loaded on today's service, there's always something for everyone. Weekend first class service is also complimentary, but is much reduced, and is usually no more than a wooden pastry and a tea or a coffee. Weekend upgrades you can get for around £20, so you can understand why LNER doesn't provide the same catering at weekends. I opt for the full English as usual, which has recently been revamped and is as always excellent. With breakfast out of the way, I can tell you a little more about this service. Up until 2015, the service was known as the Hull Executive. It operates once a day in each direction, with the southbound service leaving Hull at 7 AM and the return from London King's Cross departing at 5:18 PM. Despite today's service being quiet, the service is usually popular, and particularly so at the moment with the ongoing problems that Hull trains face as they continue to limp along with their notoriously unreliable Class 180 fleet. Hull Trains operates a number of direct services to London, similar to this one, but as I say, they've lost a great deal of faith with the public over the last 12 months. That said, Hull Trains will be getting their new Class 802 rolling stock early in 2020, allowing for delays. You can see my review of Hull Trains, including some local media headlines from the last year, by clicking the link below. So back to this service. So this service provides a valuable direct link between Hull and London, and principal stations in between, including Brough, Howden and Selby. There has been a direct link between Hull and London for many years, albeit prior to Hull train's arrival, only once per day. As we speed through the great county of Yorkshire southwards, it's always refreshing to do a train trip given that I spend so much time in the air, and I'm indeed on my way to Heathrow today after having arrived back there from Dubrovnik only last night. My work takes me far and wide, but I never take any of it for granted, and rail travel never tires. Booking in advance, I paid just £80 for this single one-way trip, which I thought was outstanding value for money. Most weeks my company pays for my ticket, but today this was for review purposes, so it's self-funded. Just on the Azuma train now, on the way down to London. Unfortunately the train's running about 50 minutes behind schedule, and that was because of a problem, a particular chap threatening to throw himself off a bridge just as we tried to leave Hull. First thing this morning, police resolved that. Hopefully the guy's okay, of course. Clearly nothing that LNER could have done about that, or Network Rail. First impressions of the train are excellent. A couple of teething troubles. I can't get on the Wi-Fi, and the staff in the hotel, they don't know why either. The seat reservation system is broken. The Hitachi engineer on board apparently can't resolve it either. But you know, it's a brand new train. It's been in service 5 days. You're going to get these teething issues. But other than that, first impressions are very good. As with all of my travel, you can read about my future travel plans on both Twitter at Moments in the Sky and on my blog, which is linked below. I'm very open to anyone joining me on any of my trips, so as always I invite you to buy a ticket and come along. There are no secret WhatsApp groups here, and I simply love meeting people on my travels, so whether you have 5 or 500,000 followers, or even if you simply prefer to watch YouTube instead of feature on it, why not come and join me as I traverse the continents? You'll also get to meet some great fellow travel enthusiasts. So there we have it, one Azuma ride to London. The train that brought me to London is just over my left shoulder, as you can see. So first impressions are it's an excellent train. To be fair, they've done a great job at LNER to release it and get the publicity for it. A couple of teething troubles, as I said. I never did restore the Wi-Fi for some strange reason. And the seat reservations just didn't work from Hull, but there you go, it's a brand new train and it'll, you know, get fixed at some point in the future, I guess. But for now, yeah, really good trip, looking forward to many more, in particular when Hull trains get their 802 variant, which will be probably early next year. So thanks for following, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.